Hey everyone, so I'm back in with another video. This time around I have some retro video game pickups to share with you guys. I got a couple of things from a whole bunch of different stores, and I have actually not found that much uh, in the last few weeks, really, because I've been really busy with school. But I did find a couple of interesting things in random places. So I'm going to start with this here. I went. Well, I should mention first that there's a story behind this. I went to the Value Village one day after I left school, and it was pretty late. It was about 7 to 8 p.m., and I find this one N64 game on the sort of pegboard on the wall, and when I saw this one game, I knew that I had most definitely missed out on some good stuff. And the game that I found, I ended up using a discount that I had, is Tony Hawk Pro Skater, the first one for the N64. It's $5.99 minus 30% off. Um, I mean, it was really clean. The label's in really good condition. I thought, sure, I'll go for it. But there were a lot of empty spots on the wall there, and then later on I found out that they had actually had a Jungle Green N64 with the expansion pack, all the cables, but no green controller. And they had the system priced at $30 or $29.99, and then they had two separate controllers priced individually for, I think the guy said either $5.99 or $6.99, but they were both red controllers, and that kind of disappointed me overall because I would have really liked to have those. N64 controllers just aren't a common occurrence for me, at least. And then there were a whole bunch of other games, and for this have been left behind, either the person didn't see it or there were some really good games there, and that kind of sucks, but oh well. Next up, I went to a Value Village that I've actually never been to before, and I had no idea it was there. And while I was there, I found a shit ton of Genesis games. I mean, like, the most amount of Genesis games that I've ever seen at a thrift store. There were about 20 Genesis games there, all loose cart, and sadly they were all sports games. But I was looking through each of them individually, and I did find these two here that interested me somewhat because they weren't actually Genesis games. Both of these are 32X games, and the first one here is, actually, I'm not really sure what to call this, but I'll go with 36 Great Holes, starring Fred Couples, or Couples, or something like that. I might as well just take it out of the bag now. It's been sitting here for weeks, just waiting for me to open it up. But yeah, there's that there. And the other game, which is a little bit more interesting, is Virtua Racing Deluxe. But this one had, let's see, a Blockbuster rental sticker on the back, but that one's perfectly fine. Next up, yard sale season has kicked off here, but not that many are going on yet. And honestly, in my area, just the majority of yard sales are either crap or jewelry or old lady clothing, and there are no toys or games or anything exciting to really find at yard sales here. But when I saw this one game at this yard sale that I went to just 2 blocks over from where I live, I asked the lady if she had anything else at all, and I listed off any system imaginable. I just started naming things, throwing them at her, and by the end of it, she told me that her son, who is in his 30s now, had a whole bunch of stuff, but over the years of holding yard sales, the stuff has been long sold off. She said that the majority of the stuff was sold off before even the year 2000, and that they've lived there for a very long time. And then she went off into her own story about her life, and that's not really important. But I did find this one game, and when I asked her how much, she said, "Name your price," and I was like, "Well, $2. I have a toonie on me. That's a $2 coin for those of you in the rest of the world that don't know about Canadian currency." So I hand over the toonie and I grab this game here. It's missing the manual, but at least it's in the box. It's triple score 3 games in 1, and it features Super Hang-On World Championship Soccer and columns. So nothing too special there, but I really find next to nothing at yard sales here in Toronto, so I was excited to find anything really. Now, I know that stuff was kind of lackluster, but I promise the last game here is a lot more interesting, and I'm actually happy to add it to my collection. It's a Japanese PS1 game. It was released in North America as well. I'm not entirely certain, though, if it was released under the same name or a different name. That you're going to have to look it up on your own. Let me know if you find out. But I got this for $10 at Game Mania, and usually on their import games they have pretty decent prices. A couple of games are a little bit more pricey, but they're usually more recent games. But older, like PS1 and Saturn games, are usually like no more than $20. This one here was $10. It's called Raystorm, published by Taito in Japan, and I forget who published this game in North America. But it's just a shoot 'em up, a pretty interesting one though, and I'm really happy to add it to the collection. And it looks, well, on the back of it here, because I can't read Japanese, but I see here that it just says 3D there, so I'm assuming that there's some 3D segments in this game. It's just not, I don't know, classic shoot 'em up. There's probably some variation in there. But yeah, that was complete at $10. I thought was a pretty decent price for this game. Anyways, that's all I got. As always, leave comments in the comment section below. Anything you'd like to say, comments, questions, suggestions, ideas, anything at all, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Check out my Facebook, Twitter, and website. They're all linked in the description below, and that's it. See ya.